What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of America of Mar-a-Lago, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how are you today?
We're doing very well. Actually, we had a great rally in, I want to say, South Carolina over the weekend. A lot of people attended. We had whites for Trump. We had tan for Trump. We had gray skins for Trump. It was a very, very patriotic event. And, there's so much love. Okay, tech stuff. There's so much love for Trump. There's so much concern for our country. We used to say "Make America Great Again." Did you know that we had a phrase? It was called MAGA, and we decided now we're putting out signs that say "Save America." I don't want this. I don't want to have to save America. We're gonna have to save America. We're gonna have to save it. And I'm not saying I'm going to be the person running to save it, but I think I might have to be.
Well, I wanted to ask you, how is Truth Social going? How is that? So many people probably are joining because of all these rallies.
Look at me. For the people watching on video, you look at this tech. You thought you have the tech. Look at my camera. It's got tech. We're doing this in a strong bunker because they're telling me that, certain Democrats want to come get me. So I'm in a dark room in an undisclosed Mar-a-Lago location. And look at that. Look at all this. Look at the tech. Look at the tech. Look at the tech. Look at that. I have books by blacks because you got to know your enemy. So it's a beautiful. And now the camera's broken. Oh, I see the tech. Okay, big tech is probably now trying to. There I am. There's that beautiful face. So, what was your question?
Truth Social, how is it going?
Who's that?
Truth Social, your social media platform.
Ruth, is she like an old Jewish woman? Ruth Social. We call her Ruth Social. Remember Dr. Ruth? Remember her? She talked a lot about sex, but I don't think I was gonna fuck her. But no, Ruth Social, I don't know her, but I hope she's doing well. And we just want to save America, tech. You want to talk about other things. You want to talk about old Jewish women who have sex therapy. We're not stopping them. We don't do cancel culture. But no, we want to talk about saving our country. We don't need to talk about, I hope Ruth Social is okay. I hope we can save her too. But I think we need to talk about more important things. I know this is your first show, and I'm going to be nice. Normally, I'm very tough with the tech stuff, people, but no, we don't need to talk about Ruth Social or anything really that isn't about saving our country.
Okay. Now, I noticed that you are not censoring Don Jr. at all for his Twitter rants. He went on another one recently. What are your thoughts about his Twitter rants? Do you think it's hurting you at all?
My supporters are so strong and so in love with Trump. They're willing to watch Dan Jr. do drugs, cry, fuck a gargoyle. They're willing to watch him do all this and make him feel welcome out of respect to me. That's how powerful the brand is. I'm too strong for Dan Jr. to hurt. So I let him do it. It's called kindness. Okay, if he wants to do cocaine and grow a beard to cover up his chinless face and have sex with scary 55-year-old women with cankles who used to fuck handsome Democrats, he can do that. I'm not going to stop him. If he was hurting me, which he can't, but if he was hurting me, we would stop it very quickly. But there's no reason to because my brand, my support is so strong. It's so strong. It can withstand. I could have 10 Dan Juniors walking around being stupid and high on cocaine and fucking gargoyles, and I wouldn't lose a point. In fact, I think it makes me look sympathetic. People probably look at Dan Jr. and say, look at Trump's special needs son. Isn't that nice that Trump, who we would expect, to smother a special needs child at birth. Isn't it nice that he doesn't do that, that he lets him live and have social media accounts and do crazy drugs and have sex with Puerto Rican gargoyles? So, no, I don't think he's hurting me at all. I think it makes me look very generous, to be honest.
Okay. Now, I wanted to let you know that we've gone over different national holidays every episode recently, and today is National Pie Day.
I like pie. I enjoy a nice slice of. You know what our pie is in America? Do you know what our pie is? What our sort of official pie is?
Apple pie?
Oh,
Apple pie.
no. You're new to the country. You think it's apple pie? No, it's not. It's not. Look at tech stuff saying apple pie. What kind of country do you have? You looked at our country? You think we like fruit? Mike, Mike, I'm talking about actual fruit. Do you think we like fruit in this country? No.
Chocolate pie?
Oh,
Chocolate.
no. Okay, well, that woke. We call that a woke pie, right? It has to be. Oh, yes, sir. It has to be chocolate. It has to be chocolate because now we've got critical race desserts. That's what we've got with the tech stuff. Now, our official pie is a delicious cream pie.
Okay. Now I'm talking about PI, like when it comes to circumference and diameter of a circle, 3.14444444 repeating. That's Pi Day. That not.
Why did you call conference, whoever that is? I don't know if that's a porn move or a conference room. Why are you calling conference sir? There's only one sir on the excuse me, tech stuff. Now I need to educate you, I think, on how we run things here. There's one sir on this show, and it's Sir President Esquire Reverend Dr. Trump, sir. It is certainly not shaman. Don't forget the shaman. Remember that? Don't forget the shaman. So whoever conference is, we call him Mr. Conference, okay? Not circumference. Anyway, you were saying you were being rude?
No, circumference is the distance around a circle.
What did I
Circumference.
say? Well, okay, so you're fired because you said it twice. Mr. Conference, I don't care what Mr. Conference does, and I don't care. I don't celebrate his day, whatever day this is, but I have a nice piece of cream pie, and we watched some of Melatonin's old porn movies from Transylvania to celebrate Cream Pie Day. So thank you. And I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
We'll just move on from National Pie Day. Ukraine. What are your thoughts? What's going on over there?
By the way,
yeah.
Excuse me, did you know, by the way, pi is also a number, 3.14? Oh, you didn't know that. So anyway, what were you talking about? Ukraine? How about my crane? I don't like that they call it Ukraine. I would.
Why not?
What about Uso Crane? Remember Martin Lawrence? He had a special Uso Crane. He knew that black knew. But Ukraine is a horrible situation. We've talked about this. I think it would be nice if they could get together. But by the way, tech stuff. Obviously you don't know too much history, but do you remember World War III happening when I was officially the president, unlike now where I'm unofficially the president? Do you remember World War III?
I didn't know World War III was happening.
Well, it wasn't. That was a trick question. It wasn't, because I was in office. And Vlad Putin, we had great respect for each other. And he told me one time he was having a shot of vodka and murdering a prostitute. And he said to me, Donald, I will not attack your country because you are too strong, sir. He called me sir. And I showed him respect. I said, Comrade Vlad, bars, thank you for not doing war. And I will not report you for murdering those 4 prostitutes that we were talking to during dinner. And that's called strong diplomacy type stuff. That's the kind of diplomacy you don't get with Sleepy Joe Biden. You know, you get with Sleepy Joe Biden, 4 p.m. dinners at local diners for early bird specials, and fake Dr. Jill Biden tucking his napkin into his shirt collar and saying, "You spilled soup, honey, you spilled soup." And then all of a sudden he goes home and he reads a bedtime story, and they go, "Sir, what are you doing? It's 8 p.m. We have international affairs." And he goes, "Come on, Jack. I want to go to sleep, Jack." And he goes to sleep for 10 hours while the world burns. That's what we have, tech stuff. That's what we have. And Vlad saw it and he said, "It is Sleepy Joe. I am going to take over the world. Now that we don't have Strong Donald, we have Sleepy Joe, vodka shots, whore killing, borscht."
What did you think of his State of the Union address? Did you happen to catch any of it? I forgot to ask you.
I mean, the only thing I enjoyed was when I think we may have talked when I mean, as if I didn't already want to, marry her, impregnate her, and then drag her to a Planned Parenthood to end the pregnancy. But Lauren Boebert, when she screamed out at Sleepy Joe, when Sleepy Joe was trying to talk about his dead son, and Lauren Boebert wasn't having, I don't know if I've ever been more aroused in my entire life. You've got Sleepy Joe up there talking about dead troops and Jack and come on, man. And then he mentions his son who passed away, who we respect. He was a lot better guy than Hunter Biden. We'll admit that. Probably the best of the Bidens, to be honest, I think. And I say, I'm being very respectful. I think Beau Biden sounded like an actual strong patriot and a good guy. And he was talking about him, and Lauren Boebert got up with her cute little heels and her stupid glasses and her great little rack and started screaming at Sleepy Joe right then. It was so classless and so disgusting. I think I came in my pants again just talking about it. And that's when I said, "Oh, Lauren Boebert." I mean, I'm so glad when we had the Eppies in December that our great patriots selected Lauren Boebert as my future Mrs. Trump, because, and what you like about that, you ever see this tech stuff? I don't know if you follow sports, but when a sports person, especially the blacks, when they get a big contract and then they say, "Okay, I'm not going to do any more hard work. I got the money and now I'm not going to practice ever again." I can see you nodding. The African Americans, they do
I
this
don't
so
know if
much.
they say that.
They say, well, they say it a lot. And I think you know that. I think you're being too woke right now. But they say, "I got money, I'm not practicing anymore." It's very typical in the African American sports community. And all of a sudden, they stop winning. Well, what Lauren Boebert did, because she's the opposite of a black athlete, she's a white moron. And when she got the epi for future Mrs. Trump, she could have rested on her laurels. She could have just spread her legs and said, "Come on in, Mr. President, sir." But instead, she's out there screaming things at Sleepy Joe during the State of the Union when he's talking about his deceased son. I mean, that is incredible talent and incredible desire to be. It's almost like she wants to be the fifth Mrs. Trump as well. Like she's like, "I want to be the fourth and fifth Mrs. Trump." So we love Lauren Boebert. We have great admiration and affection for her. And the only thing that would have been better is maybe if Sleepy Joe has to attend a funeral for a loved one, maybe she could like show up topless and scream at him there. And then that would solidify it. I might even let her keep a Trump baby.
So nice of you. You were talking about sports for a second.
It's called pro-life.
You're talking about sports for a second. How do you feel Tom Brady? He retired and now he's not retiring. Came out of retirement, has championships, model wife, and said, "You know what? I got to go back to playing football."
I'm great friends with Tom Brady. I think you know this, and he's a tough guy. He's a tough, smart, good-looking guy. Almost as tough, smart, and good-looking as I am. And I knew he would be back. I knew he would be, because there's very few people in this world, tech stuff, who have my sort of championship killer instinct. I know you don't have it, but I have it. Tom Brady has it. I think Lauren Boebert actually might have it. And I think, who else has it? Who else? I think the great tennis champion Novak Sinovic. I think he's somebody who's got a lot of killer instinct and talent. OJ is an athlete with great killer instinct, and so I think you're talking about a very rare. I think that's sort of my Mount Rushmore of killer instinct. It's me, Tom Brady, Lauren
OJ.
Boebert, and OJ.
What a Mount Rushmore of killer instinct. Mr. President, before we get back to this, and I want to discuss more Ukraine and Russia with you, but we have to talk about our fantastic sponsor, and that is betonline.ag. Week in, week out, they are a ride or die.
We love BetOnline. If Lauren Boebert was a dating site, it'd be Boebert AG because they're so loyal and strong for our show.
That's right. And it's that time of the year as college basketball takes center stage as the tournament is finally upon us. Do you do a NCAA tournament bracket? We can maybe you can choose your final four maybe next week after the tournament gets underway, or you want to do it now?
You know what? I normally do, but I noticed that Idaho Militia Christian Bible Tech State College didn't get
No
a
bids.
bid
No.
this year. So it's going to be, I want to gamble because I love nothing more than placing bets on unpaid African Americans doing labor for strong, white, powerful people. So I want to bet very strongly on March Madness, but I was so sad to see Idaho Militia Christian Bible Tech State College was denied a spot in the tournament. They have played so well this year. They have played so well. They were 3-29, but those 29 losses, we looked up some of those referees, and almost all of them registered Democrats. So you do the math. You do the math, tech stuff.
Now, Mr. President, I don't know if you heard about this, but Russia is asking China for military and economic assistance. What are your thoughts on this? Is this scary for us if they team up? Because then if we get involved, we have to join Russia and China, or we're considered enemies. So what do you think about this?
I think it's a great idea because I was the one who told Putin he should talk to my friend Xi. I should have put them in contact.
Were you there for the conversation?
Well, I was. I think I was. You can't broker a strong deal like that and not be on the phone. And Putin, he was on the phone with me, and he said to me, "Donald, sir, I don't know what to do. Our economy, Sleepy Joe, is hurting our economy, and we need more high-tech weapons. And I know Sleepy Joe won't give them to us. So who could help us, sir?" And I said, "Vlad, I'm going to go do a three-way call with our great friend Xi, Prime Minister Xi of China." And I got Xi on the line, and I said, "Xi," and he said, and I said, "Vlad," and he said, "Yes." And then they started talking, and it was a lot of love. It was a lot of love. They talked about, how they jail people for free speech. They talk about their strong record on sexual assault. Obviously, Vlad, I mean, nobody beats, nobody. Remember they used to have in New York, "Nobody beats the Wiz." Do you remember
Yes,
that?
I remember that.
Well, when it comes to international whore murdering, nobody beats the Vlad. That's what we always say. And we laughed, and Xi laughed, and Xi, I could hear him on the phone. He said, "Get me 10 whores to murder tonight." So he's very competitive because Vlad had beat him, and he was going to immediately start murdering Chinese whores just to beat Vlad. So they have that nice, how there's,
Out of the
how
spirit.
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they actually were friends off the court. They have friendly respect, very competitive, kill each other on the court, but off the court, great respect. Vlad and Xi are very much like that. And I'm like, Michael Jordan if he was white and talented. Uh, so I'm a little better than them, is what I'm saying. But in other words, it was great to see them getting along. And there was a point where they were going to walk away, where China and Russia, they were going to walk away from the phone call, and they said, we can. And I talked them back into it. I said, you got to get along, guys. Imagine if you two guys collaborated and became strong allies. You could crush the United States if you wanted to. And they got very excited about that. And they said, thank you so much, Donald, for making this come together. And I said, I love making my friends happy. So, you know, obviously, I hope they don't destroy America. I love our country. But if they do, they both promised me, you know, triplex deluxe apartments in their capital cities. So I'll be okay. If they were to attack America, if they've sort of joined forces. And I remember when Tupac and Suge Knight, Suge, some people call him Suge. Remember when they got together with Death Row Records?
Yes.
And then they ended up killing Notorious Big. And I'm sort of like Notorious Big here, except I've already made my plans to escape. Death Row Records isn't going to get me. I'm going to actually just move to Russia or China if they attack America. So it's all been planned out. It's all a lot of peace. We have great peace.
Nice. I don't know why you would get them together to destroy America when you live in America, but I guess that's for another time. I wanted to ask
Excuse
you.
me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
A very nasty. Excuse me. A very nasty thing you just said. Very
You
nasty.
just said you did told them to do that.
I didn't tell them to do that. I wanted them to get together and be friends. So I told them something that would make them happy. The thought of annihilating America. And that brought them back to the negotiating table. But I said very strongly, if you listen back to, I said, I don't want them to destroy America. I don't want that. How could I want that? America is in my top 5 countries that I like on earth. Okay, so I wouldn't want it destroyed, but you have to plan in case. You have to plan in case, because Ukraine is so nasty. They have a comedian running the country, and I don't like comedians. And so I want them to destroy Ukraine peacefully, and then hopefully they just go their separate ways. But if China and Putin get together and decide, let's go after America, I'm going to go bye-bye and take my jet to Moscow, and we'll see what happens. That's not what I want. You made it sound like that's what I wanted.
Okay.
I don't want that.
My fault. I'm sorry. Mr. President, you are being accused of breaking campaign laws by teasing your 2024 run.
Hold on, I think that's Vlad.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear that. It's Vlad. Yeah, no, that's definitely Putin. Okay, he'll leave a message.
Now, what are your thoughts on this? You have hinted a lot to running 2024. Do you think you're breaking any campaign laws? And are you nervous you're going to look into this? Because you've hinted at this.
I don't know that I've hinted at it. I think I've been very subtle. I've been so subtle, I don't even pronounce the B in the word subtle. That's subtle. But no, I think what people don't realize is, and what the Federal Election Commission, or FUC as I call them, what they don't understand is I'm not looking to run. I had a great life before I ran for president, and won, by the way, twice. I had a great life, probably the best life that anybody's ever had. And I ran for president because I had to save our country. And now people are asking me, they're begging me, you should see these big bikers, big tough bikers with muscles and swastika tattoos. They come up to me and with tears, these big guys, blood on their knuckles, tears in their eyes. And they say, sir, we need you to run. We need you to run for president, sir, because our country is falling apart. Just the other day, I noticed an immigrant walking through my town. And we can't have that, sir. We can't have that, sir. And these big men, they break down in tears. They break down in tears, and it's a horrible thing to see. So I'm not running. I'm not announcing any running. What I'm talking about is I'm seeing people begging me. It's called begging.
Mm.
They're begging me to run. What am I supposed to do? Tech. If you see a guy on the street bleeding, okay, dying, do you call 911? Do you see what's wrong, or do you just walk by?
I call 911.
Okay, well, you're weak. I wouldn't call 911. But what you're saying is what a lot of people would do. They would call 911. They would try to help. They would try to help because I would probably be on my way to a very important meeting that can't wait. But the point is, our country is lying in a gutter, bleeding right now because Sleepy Joe was driving a car down the street, fell asleep at the wheel, and hit a beautiful white person on the sidewalk who's now lying in the gutter, bleeding to death. That's what our country is. And I'm walking by, minding my own business, and the country, bleeding in the gutter, probably a hot chick, looks up and says, "Sir, sir, please help me." And I say, "You know what? I think I have to help." And the Federal Election Commission, those fucks, they say to me, "Sir, what you're doing is illegal. We have to arrest you and throw you in jail and ban you from doing everything. We're radical left and we don't want our country to survive, sir. You're breaking the law. You're breaking the law." This is what we have in our country now. Accusations that I'm breaking the law for trying to save the country. Can you imagine if you went to the hospital, tech stuff, and you're having a heart attack and the doctor does surgery and saves your life. And the next thing you know, the Federal Election Commission walks in and arrests the doctor and says, "This wasn't allowed, sir. He didn't make an appointment, sir. He didn't make an appointment for his heart attack. You're under arrest. You can't practice medicine, sir." That's what we're dealing with right now. That's what we're dealing with. So officially, I have not decided to run, but I can tell you there's millions and possibly even billions of people in this country who want me to run, who need me to run, who are begging me to run. In fact, a person brought their 19-year-old daughter over to Mar-a-Lago to have sex with me last night, just hoping that I would say I would run.
I'm speechless. Mr. President, I don't know if you heard this news. It's very sad news. Former President Obama got COVID. You're smiling.
You know what? It's just one of those things. The radical left with their vaccines and their, "Oh, they're great. Oh, I'm Obama. I eat salmon and salad every day, and I get my vaccines, and we wear masks, and my wife has strong arms, and I write books, and I have Netflix deals, and look at me, I'm so fancy. I got 2 terms in office. I'm the best." Well, you know what? He got COVID, and maybe you ever think COVID's trying to be woke?
Never thought of that.
Until this point, I really didn't have a problem with COVID. I thought COVID was, COVID's just being COVID. It's tough. It's a little nasty, but I sort of like that. I've always said I like killers, and there's not many better killers than COVID. But all of a sudden, COVID is trying to catch an African American. Oh, look at me! I'm diverse. I have diverse victims now. I think COVID's trying to get the left to like it. So I think it's very weak on COVID's part. I don't respect Obama and I don't respect COVID. Maybe they can do a podcast together like Bruce Springsteen and Obama. Can I make COVID sound like Bruce Springsteen? We had a lot of businesses that I shut down in this town because I was killing everybody. Yes, you were, COVID. Yes, you were. Ha ha ha. Let's do a book together. Let's do a book tour, COVID. I wanted to tell you that all those businesses that closed down because I killed all their shopkeepers, I hope they open up again one day. Worst podcast in the world. Worst podcast. Obama and COVID.
Now, Mr. President, we have a couple of more news stories, and I don't know if this scares you, but have you heard about
Excuse me. Excuse
Yes.
me. Excuse me. Nothing scares me.
Yes. Well, they're saying this summer on the East Coast, spiders called Joro spiders from China are going to fall right out of the sky. And these
They're not Greek?
spiders,
I think they're pronounced hero spiders. And they come
no,
in
it's-
and they're hairy and they open diners and food trucks, and then their names are like 500 letters long.
no. And these spiders are like as big as your fist, and they're just going to fall from the sky. Thank God they're not harmful. They're almost harmless, but these spiders are just going to fall from the sky on top of us this summer on the East Coast. What are
And
your
the
thoughts on
left
these
and
spiders?
And the left, you know what? The left will probably say, "Oh, the spiders are raping me. The spiders didn't ask my consent." It's called Me Too. It's called Me Too, and it's gone totally out of control. They're going to cancel the spiders. They're going to cancel culture the spiders, and I think it's a disgrace. And I support the spiders. They have great movies. You ever see the Spider-Man? They're great movies, strong movies. They catch bugs. You ever see how they catch bugs like you wouldn't believe? They just put their web up, and these bugs, they're so stupid. They walk right into the web and then they get eaten. And it's a really sad sight. But I have great respect for our spider people. And so and notice spiders, they're not PC. You ever notice this? Black Widow. You ever heard of this spider, the Black Widow?
Yes.
Right, because she was married to an African American spider who was up to no good, and he got shot by the police, and now she's a Black Widow. But they don't call their spiders lawsuit against our great police force spiders. Now they call themselves Black Widows because they know what they did. But the point is, we respect the spiders, we respect the spider community, and the East Coast, by the way, you ever noticed this? The East Coast, it's pretty radical left. So these spiders are probably sent from God, or maybe from the great Jeff Epstein in heaven. And he said, drop these spiders on radical left people so that they realize that it's almost biblical. It's almost like the Bible of Trump. You know, if you don't respect my election, I will send upon you a plague of Greek spiders covered in hair, and they will fall on your face and eat your children because you're radical left. So I think it's a good thing. I actually respect the spiders.
You respect the spiders. If you were playing a round of golf on your golf course in New Jersey and one of these spiders fell out of the sky and onto your head, would you feel the same?
Well, it would land on my golf hat, and I would simply go, "Bop," and continue golfing.
What happens if it landed on your shoulder?
You mean my big, strong shoulder?
Yes.
Remember when Obama did this and Jay-Z, you know, they stole that from me. That would be me knocking they could only knock dirt off their shoulder. I can knock full spiders off my shoulder. How about that? Write that one, Jay-Z.
So it wouldn't bother you if one of these spiders landed on you.
We have a lot of caddies whose job it would probably be, if I didn't knock it off, they would remove the spider, and I would have black caddies all summer to remove the black spiders, and we'd call it black on black violence.
Okay. Your boy Kanye is just loves to be in the news. Have you seen that Kim Kardashian finally released a picture with Pete Davidson? So confirmed they are dating and they are together. And that released thread of Kanye West and Pete Davidson tweets. Have you seen that?
I do know that they've been texting. I think what Kim is doing is a disgrace. Uh, you know, how do you go from Kanye to President Trump to Pete Davidson? I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I don't know if he's registered as a 501c3 charity or something, and all these women sort of like, for community service. I'll have sex with the praying mantis from Staten Island. That sounds like a good time to spend the next 4 to 6 months. But I have great sympathy for Kanye. Um, and all I can say is, and I say this with respect, I don't like with Russia and Ukraine, I don't want any bad things to happen. But if Kanye were to pull a very strong OJ on Kim and Pete, I think it would be kind of funny if one of OJ's children represented Kanye at trial, a kind of like a circle of life or death.
It's definitely death for sure. Mr. President, we appreciate you every single week and joining us, and plus with the bonus episodes, and everyone listening at home. If you haven't joined the Patreon yet, patreon.com/MPGA. We have some
Can I tell them? Can I tell them what's happening this month? I'm very excited.
Yes, break it to them, please.
Okay, so listeners, okay, my piggers, the ones who don't even leave reviews, those are the ones we give the hard R's to. Here's the thing. First of all, you should leave a review on Apple Podcasts ASAP. That means as soon as, you finish it. But then the Patreon this month, at the end of this week, you're going to get Trump's spring break tips. Okay. Trump's tips for spring break. That's the bonus for all levels. Then you're going to get Rotten Oranges, which it was a huge success last year. We're going to be doing a star-studded Oscar preview with me and some of my other friends. We have the live Q&A. It's called a live Q&A episode, the best part of every month. And that will be Thursday, March 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern. So mark your calendars if you're a Patreon patriot. And also there'll be a bonus exclusive Patreon video posted before the end of the month for all perfect tens as well. So join already. It's like unbelievable that we still have to tell these people to join what many people are saying, the greatest Patreon in the history of Patreon.
I agree. And that's patreon.com/MPGA. And if you haven't rented or picked up my special yet, Something from Nothing on Amazon, on all video on demand for cable providers, YouTube, Vimeo, Apple iTunes. Check it out. Something from Nothing. Check out that special. And Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Everybody, this is your hey guys, it's JL. Quick few announcements. Righteous PK podcast, my other podcast, has been going strong the last month, so give that a try if you haven't already. And just 3 shows to tell you about so far, but others will be added to my calendar in the next couple of weeks. But Buffalo, April 26th at Helium, Buffalo, New York. May 14th, New York City. My special 2.0. This time, no technical difficulties is really our only goal, because the content was an A+. And then Boston, just got an email from Boston finally. So a link should be available soon for that. That's City Winery, Friday, 2 shows, Friday, July 15th. So hooray. So mark your calendars and keep checking in on my website, or just keep listening to this show till the end. And that's the funny thing. 3 dudes who listened to this podcast showed up late, and they're probably not listening now because they stopped before the end. But they missed the announcement when I cut it to 1 show in October. So they showed up at the end of the show thinking they were coming to the late taping. So hopefully they hear this, because now they have a chance to actually see the full show. But anyway, this has gone on too long. Thank you for listening. We appreciate the support. Join the Patreon, blah, blah, blah. God help us all.